Uh, I guess my internet disconnected and they couldn't reconnect the stream, so I had to restart my stream. Restarting the stream. I'm just gonna draw some shit. I don't know what I'm gonna draw. Yeah, my internet went out, and then the stream was trying to connect again, but once my internet came back up, it wouldn't connect. So I just ended it and then tried it again. ISP doing evil deeds again. I don't know. Right when you mentioned earthquake, and my internet just the lights blinked, and then my internet went out. So I got some of your earthquake vibes over here, Ricker. What's up, Robot Parade, Fear Pacer? Yeah, I don't know what happened. It just stopped. My internet went out and it just couldn't reconnect for a couple minutes. Yeah, crazy, crazy coincidence or synchronicity. Um, Reset chat, refresh chat. Okay. I saw a refresh chat button here. I just pressed it. Welcome to live chat. Yeah. Okay. So now we got a mini stream and then a full stream. Let me see. I just put disconnected on the one that just disconnected or lost internet. I can show you my screen from my side. Oh, this is a lot. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's gone. I was gonna show you my chat, but as soon as I tried to pull it over, it refreshed and now it's all gone. Anyway. Hopefully this message gets in. Draw an ogre and orcs like you used to for oversold. God, I am fading away once more. Also, happy Thanksgiving from Canada. Happy Thanksgiving, unknown. Happy Thanksgiving to Canada. So yeah, hoping the big one doesn't come in my country because it will be disastrous. Yeah, that would suck. Earthquakes suck. I used to live in California, so I understand a little bit about that. Anyway, I wanted to ask about the big shows like Love, Death, Robots by Netflix. Have you ever wanted to work on something, or do you want to fully work on your own projects? Yeah, I've never really wanted to work on other people's stuff. It's Yeah, it's just I've never desired to work on other people's IPs. I've always wanted to just make my own things, which was always weird because everyone I worked with was always talking about working at this place or that place, and I was just like, I never said it to him, but my inner thoughts were, don't you want to work on your own thing? But apparently, that is not always what other people want to do. People want to work for known IPs. I guess the only place I wouldn't have minded working was a place like Blizzard. But of course, I wouldn't be doing animation. I'd be doing game development probably. Or I guess I could still do animation and whatever. But yeah, Blizzard was the only place where I was like, ooh, I wouldn't mind working there. I actually got sent a letter from Blizzard a long time ago when I regarding the fan art I did, and they asked me to send in a portfolio. And of course, I didn't have a portfolio because I was an animator. My portfolio was animation. They wanted to see more of my art, and so I just kept the email as I kept the Blizzard email as good memory because I knew I wasn't going to try to throw together a portfolio just to work there. I was actually working on Akumi when I got that email. Uh, let's see, work. Oh, yeah. I hope you're earthquake free, Ricker. I do not enjoy earthquakes. But I'm like coming to the realization I was saying this right as the stream, as my internet disconnected, that I think I'm ready to jump into animation, the animation part of my life again. Game development, I don't mind doing it, but I don't want to make my own game for a while. It's a different kind of energy and um, stress and time commitment to put into something. I put so much into Akumi Wars and this mobile game, and Akumi Wars didn't really pan out financially, and 8 years put into that game. Who knows what will happen with this mobile game? But I'd rather do things. I'd rather start doing animations again, telling stories. Do projects where I'm the uh, only one that has to. I'm the only one determining whether how fast or slow the project gets done because I'm controlling everything. The Void versus Legion animation, that's still there. I still want to work on that. I haven't touched it because the mobile game has started to take over. We just released the public beta test last Friday. Good evening, Shades. Let's go. Kame. Kame is almost full. It's Thrak. Thrak Iron High. No, by the way, that boss rush ending was funny. Did you like that? I don't think I think it's impossible to get the 3 stars on that unless you I don't know. It might be possible. I haven't tried to. You'd have to be so your characters would have to be so damn strong and have to kill everything so fast. Uh, but did you do the survey, Fear Pace? Let us know what you think of the game. Since if you get full rights to IP after Love, Death, and Robots, it could give a nice boost to popularity of your studio. Since you mentioned animation, it fits. Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense because Love, Death, and Robots are all independent animations, right? If I'm correct. I don't know if they have to sign over the rights though. That's the thing. So what you're saying is you get full rights to your IP robot. Well, if that's the case, then yeah, I wouldn't mind putting my animations on there. What bill would you recommend to beat the unicorn? Um, Someone told me that they used Akumi Blade, something that will use their something that uses their special abilities really quickly. Akumi Blade, Mega Kumi. She shoots really fast. You want to knock down the you want to knock back the unicorn as much as possible. So the faster your attacks or the stronger your attacks, the quicker you'll knock them back. Or other projects like other studios, I don't know how they roll with the IP. Oh yeah, didn't get a chance to play demo because of what's happening in my country. That's understandable, Rigger. When things aren't as crazy, you can take a look. It's not going anywhere. Not even my beloved Punky could carry my crew. Yeah, you use try. Punky shoots really slow, so even if she knocks back the unicorn once with a strong attack, it takes her so long to attack again. So try Akumi Blade Master or Mega Akumi, and then just dump a bunch of little tanks in front of them, so they don't get hit by little tanks. Mission: defeat 10 orc peons. Yep, I think I was the first one to do it. Okay, gotcha. I'm not sure, but you for sure need to check. Oh yeah, for the love robots. I think once I get back in animation, that will pique my interest again. No way someone finished the boss. I don't know if anyone's finished the boss rush yet. I know everyone so far. The most of the people have beaten the game. It's not a very long game if you play it like a normal game. That's why it's mobile. Yeah, she's good for knockback, but she shoots so slow. It's like if you can only knock them back once every 3 or 4 seconds, that's not enough. She's guaranteed knock. She's almost guaranteed knockback, but it's she shoots her rate of fire or yeah, her rate of fire is so slow. You're not gonna beat the unicorn's speed. You want you want fast DPS. So the way the enemies work, they have a hit point bar, but they also have what you can't see, a knockback bar. So for instance, the unicorn probably has 100 hit points of knockback resistance. So you've got to hit the unicorn for 100 damage before you knock him down. Um, that's where using a lot of special attacks really fast helps. So usually the units with fast special attacks have a weak default attack, but they're offset by their special attacks. So each special attack might do like 50 or more knockback damage. So you're gonna, and not including all your minion units doing damage. So you gotta think about how fast can I knock down their, how fast can I deplete their knockdown bar or knockdown resistance to make them fly backwards and not attack. So yeah, every unit in the game has their own separate knockback resistance um, hit points, if you want to call it that. But you can't see it obviously. All you see is the hit. All you see are their health points, but you don't see their knockback resistance. But it works just like a health bar. Yeah, I always like making Frankenstein heads for tough guys. Square, square jaw, square head. It gives the impression of being very sturdy. Blockhead. Hi, I'm Sparrow, or you can call me Spieler. Hello, hello, Sparrow. I'll try to remember that. FB is Sparrow. Yeah, video games are weird. The way things that seem pretty straightforward when you look in the actual engine or under the hood is a lot more complex than there's a lot more going on than you would think, especially for me with my simple mind. Like a tiny example is in the game engine, nothing starts at 1. Everything starts at 0. So 0 is actually 1. And then 1 is actually 2. It's like that type of shit fucks me up. So that's just a small example of the weird double meanings behind the what's going on in the engine. It's never straightforward. You fudge it to look straightforward when you're playing the game, but in the actual engine, it's all that weird stuff, that weird code stuff. just finished drawing random stuff. Sounds like what I'm doing here. I have no idea. Someone mentioned orcs, so I started drawing an orc. Kind of like the teeth on the bottom only. This makes me miss World of Warcraft, actually, when that was still new, fresh in my mind. I'm excited to play it, but not right now. I did watch a YouTuber play your game, so yeah, nice insight of the game. Yeah, I think I watched the same video. Hangro posted a video playing like the first level, which was kind of nice to see. It's a great insight on to see what players actually do when they play the game. Yeah, it kind of reminds me. There's not a lot of orc armors on AQW. Why is that? I don't know. I guess they just didn't. They didn't really focus too much on the classic races. I would have. I would have put a bunch of different orcs. They had orcs in the original AQW or AQ, so it's not like they didn't have orcs in their lore or a lot of orcs in their lore. They have orcs. They had all the classics. I love drawing depressed looking eyes. I don't know why. So I think drawing anything with that creates emotion is what's enjoyable about art. When you can create a character that looks like they're actually feeling or alive, and whether it's depressed or happy or angry, which was my go-to for the longest time. All my characters looked angry. Then I started focusing on making characters look happy. Oversoul Orcs has the best armors in AQW. I can't remember what armors I gave Orcs in Oversoul. I assume they looked orcish. So maybe we'll do after this orc. We'll do an art study of a photograph or something. I saw a streamer doing that, which looked kind of fun. You take a photograph or something from a movie and of a character, and then you redraw it, but you do it, but you add your own spice, personality to it, or flair. I'm currently going through my art on paint, so random characters away to mini life series, angst and stuff. Always love orcs with axes and great swords. Yeah, I rarely do studies, but it's a great exercise. It's the same sort of same mentality in a way that I had with working for different studios or whatever. That I didn't really care about that. I didn't really care about drawing from life. I always wanted to draw my own interpretations of life, but drawing from life is a good foundation. You need to know what things actually look like before you distort them. I just used to distort my characters without knowing how to draw them realistically. And so I didn't know what to distort correctly. And a teacher, I forget who, I heard it somewhere, made a good point. And they said, you've got to understand the rules before you break the rules. It's like, there's no problem. Um, there's nothing wrong with breaking the rules, but you have to know what they are first. And so I started to study the rules before I destroyed them. Let's give this guy some color. I think it's the best way to obvious who's my favorite character. I draw Martin better and more fashionable than the rest, and even my profile is him. He's my favorite. Martin. Oh yeah, the red armor. Red leather armor is always a must for orcs. If you have time, I suggest you look at Life series from Martin Fan Art. They're so good. I'm not sure who Martin is. World of Warcraft vibes, Taro vibes. A Life series character. A Life series character. Interesting. Yeah, World of Warcraft was my not my introduction to orcs, but the first time I spent a lot of time looking at depictions of orcs. Have you seen Wakfu or Dofus animated series? Yep. I watched. I saw the Wakfu animations from the video game before the animated series. The animated series is pretty great animations. Not so sure about the story. I wasn't really drawn in by it, but I loved the character design, and the animations were really smooth. I think it was a French company that created it. If I remember correctly, yeah. I think they're from France. But yeah, I downloaded at the time when they were still new. I downloaded all their characters as inspiration. Um, oh yeah, you wrote right in there French studio. Do you like working on backgrounds? I do not like working on backgrounds. I try to find the most I try to find the fastest way to get a background done that I can. Sometimes backgrounds can be fun, but a lot of time the problem is I'm more interested in making the characters, so the backgrounds just become something I have to do. So it's not always the case, but usually I'd rather not make backgrounds. Have you ever tried doing Torn characters? No, I actually haven't. Oh yeah, I did a Minotaur and Oversoul. That's probably the only that's probably the only Minotaur I've drawn in since then. Yeah, story is meh, but the characters and animation are insane. Yeah, that's what drew me into Wakfu and Dofus. All right, have a good one, Sparrow. French animators are insane. Yeah, the animators in Europe in general, I've noticed like the goblins. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. Goblins or goblins animations are so well done. They do super smooth animations. A lot of them do. Oh. I like how you see the red inside the mouth is such a saturated color. When I bring down the saturation, well, it's saturated and it's dark, too dark compared to my line weight. Maybe if I lighten it, even on the armor. Um, yeah, I had followed the Wakfu and Dofus works for a long time. One of my friends, actually, I found it before my friend showed me, but he showed me later. He's like, "Hey, this looks like something you could do." I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm only one guy." And at the time, I had fallen out of love with animation. I had turned animation into work. Yeah, I think after this mobile game, I'm gonna step away from doing at least at least step away from developing as a lead on a game. You know what would be funny? Giving him animated bubble gum that pops onto his face. I don't know. The pink color that gave me the idea. Yeah, that would be funny. I don't think it would look like he's blowing a bubble with that mouth shape though. He it look like he's just like spewing something out of his mouth, his open mouth. I still have Taro as my pet after all these years. That's funny. They made him into a pet. They made Taro pet. That's pretty funny. Orcs have sort of a undead nose. I've never noticed before. But yeah, I think I'm done with. I think I'm done with game dev for a while. I want to get back into animation. I want to get back into doing art just for art. It's kind of hard to escape spending so much time developing a game and not get locked into this has got to make money. This has got to make money. And I freaking hate that shit. I hate making something for the sole purpose of it making money because that's what took the joy out of making art for me for so many years. It's like, yeah, I want the money to come, but I don't want that to be the reason I make the shit. It's like that, those are two different things. And I don't know if there's a way to separate it from game development for me right now because I'm trying to make money. And so I'm making video games with the intention of, well, I hope this makes some money, which in turn takes some of the joy out of making the game. I really, really dislike that part. And so I think I want to take a year to just make animations for the sake of making animations. Making some stories, making some experimenting with ideas. That sounds like a good time to me. I guess I am more of an artist than I I thought, because for the longest time I was trying to become a businessman, which sounds freaking hilarious to me now. It's like I hate everything about business. Hate everything about business, marketing, all that shit. But for a while, I tried to embrace it. Fuck it. Fuck all that shit. It's not me. Uh, how do you have all of that time? Don't you also work on Infinity? If so, you really are a one-man army. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't have all that time. I have no time. uh, Fortunately, I'm really fast. So I'm like so far ahead of everybody in Infinity. Like all the monsters they need are done for like 3 or 4, not 4, maybe 2 to 3 sagas of monsters I've already animated. So every once in a while, though, there's still monsters to be animated, of course, but when I'm animating them, they're not being used. They won't be used for months or years, probably. So there's one thing. I'm really fast. Um, I think that was your only question, right? Yeah, and then I'm trying to do all my own shit at the same time. It's not fun. Not fun. So I'm gonna try to get rid of that. I still have yeah. Trolls have big noses. Yes, they do. You said that you'd rather be broke than doing nonsense life animations. Nonsense life animations. I'm not sure what you mean by nonsense life animations. I don't want to be broke, but I choose making less money over doing things I don't want to do. Yeah, I make less money because I don't do the things that people want me to do work wise. That's for sure true. Animated shorts or full pilot episode, or you don't know yet. I'm just gonna do animated shorts to start. I need to slowly and go dip myself back into animation. I need to find the joy of doing it again. Meltonius is the Flash. Sort of, Dante. Sort of. I was always faster than every animator I worked with by a lot. I never understood why people took so long, but I don't know. I always liked moving quickly. It's like I want to see something different. I move quickly because I want to see something different. So I animate fast. I don't think I draw fast. I can draw fast, but I've always looked for ways to do things the most efficient. I've always looked for the most efficient way to draw and create. That's something I've always done. If you need inspiration, I don't know if you really do nowadays for animation stories, but there's a YouTube called Dude Let Me Go. They make really cool stuff. Let me take a look. I forgot the term. Like, you'd rather not do it. Yeah, yeah, that part's true. I don't want to. I don't want money to be the motivating factor for me to do my art. I want the money to come. absolutely, but I don't want money to be the reason I do art, because that's a trap. That's what makes artists hate their work or hate doing the art. It's a trap that I fell for. I started doing my art for a paycheck, and then I didn't want to do the art outside of doing art for a paycheck, which is why I stopped doing art. Like if I wasn't getting paid for it, I wasn't doing it. And that's why I'm so adamant about keeping them separate. Uh, Dude, let me go. Let me see what that is. I've probably seen some of these animations. I've been looking up animations like a lot the past couple weeks. Yeah, these look pretty cool. I'll follow this. It reminds me of an older animator. I forgot his name. Had a similar style. Maybe you meant lifeless. I just want to do things that I have a passion for in general. Like I don't want to do things just for the money. I don't want to do things because I have to make money or whatever. If I'm doing something, it's because I'm enjoying it. I actually enjoyed doing the animations for Infinity. Just take all the art's done. I just take the character, the monster, and I make it do something cool. And I've figured out how Unity works, even though it's a terrible animation tool. I've learned it enough to do decent enough animations. It's not as good as Spine, not even close, but it does the job. So it's why I'm still doing work for Infinity, because I don't I'm not forcing myself to do it. I actually enjoy doing it. Something different, something different from my everyday art. You need things to you don't want to get too engulfed in one thing because then you lose perspective, like even with your own stuff. So it's a good distraction from my own projects. It gives me perspective on my own projects. And then when I work on my own projects, I can come back to Infinity animations with a fresh mind, with a fresh take. Um, but yeah, like I've mentioned time and time again, they wanted me to go spend more time in Infinity, but the price was I couldn't work on my own stuff, and so I didn't take it. If the price is that I can't work on my own projects, then that's too high. The price is too high. And I'd actually rather they not. I'd rather they not make it hard for me to refuse it. Like if the money was stupidly high, then I might take it. But I know how to live. I know how to live meagerly. I already know how to live below my means, so I'm not struggling. I'm not, you know, I don't need to do any art that I don't want to do anymore. Like, I don't need to do commissions. I don't need to do any of that. Oh, hi, Milt. What's up, a Druid? Flash. How's the playtest and survey going for Akumi Mobile? Getting helpful response and feedback from the testers? Yeah, we're getting some good feedback. I'm understanding what players are experiencing and what to adjust in the game. The Dragon Slayer one by Dude is really cool. I'll check that out after the stream. I respect not safe for work artists. When a hot new cartoon character comes out, they're the first ones on it. Yep, yep. See, that's another thing that might seem counter to what I was just saying. Like I love drawing other known characters in my own style. So you could say, "Oh, but you're chasing a trend when you do that." It's like, "Yeah, but I enjoy it." I've always enjoyed drawing popular characters in my own way. But not drawing popular characters that I don't care about. It has to be a character I'm like interested in or has an interesting design. Infinity seems like a massive project. I don't know if Arctic's team would be able to pull it, but let's hope for the best. They're doing it. As you know, making an MMO is like the hardest thing in the world. Like it is like one of the hardest like that's why so many MMOs go out of business. So they're doing like something incredible. And yeah, they're not going to get everything done in a short amount of time, but it's getting done. It's absolutely getting done. And that's what I meant to say. It's not going to get done in uh, one release. They're gonna release it the same way they released the original AQW. It's gonna be done over time. They just need to get the base foundation working. Make sure the actual game is in a functional state. Oh, I forgot to do the outlines. It's the funnest part. Dude doesn't want to be bound by chains. Fiends don't like that. That's right, Ricker. I don't like chains, metaphorically or real. Wishing the absolute best for Akumi Mobile success. Thank you, Atruid. I hope so too. I'm not counting on it, but I hope I hope it does well. I can't count on it. If it doesn't do well, then if I was counting on it, it would break me. It's just another project I put my heart and soul into. That's all. Have you thought about adding Chinese, Japanese into your mobile Akumi game? The gacha market. Oh, that's a good point. I know Battle Cats, and even if your one is not truly gacha, it could. That's a really good point. Yeah, I didn't think about that. At least make it make a Japanese translation. Yeah, one thing at a time. Let's get the game out. I think we can iterate on it over time. So we'll see. We'll see about that. I'll remember that, robot. That's a good point. I wouldn't mind being completely successful only in Japan. I love Japan. My thesis and thoughts on AQ3D is that it has been since the start, but I feel like they're trying to go a route or make it like how WoW is. Yeah, I think I don't know anything about what AQW is doing, but I think most MMOs are trying to do what WoW is doing. Oh, put it in somewhere about Asia languages. Put a pin in somewhere about, yeah. We'll figure that out. I just know Chinese community and Battle Cats is big, and Japan market for gacha is big. Yeah, well, that makes sense. We made our game based off of Battle Cats. I wonder if there's a better way to release our characters in a more gacha way. Right now, all the characters can be unlocked just by playing the game. WoW has inspired many MMOs. Everyone's tried to been trying to mimic their success. WoW is just Blizzard, despite all of the crap they've been going through lately and how it's lost a lot of its soul. Their games are so damn polished. They're so clean. They're so like functionally just like well done in a way that a lot of games are not. There's no jank to Blizzard games. Everything is so well polished, and that's the difference I see in games that try to copy it. You see games that look like WoW, like the art is exactly like WoW. They might even have good animations, but when you play it, the gameplay is actually clunky or unintuitive or just strange in some way. It doesn't feel right, and I think that's where Blizzard and WoW beat everybody. They have such a solid gameplay. Gotcha for gear could work, but it's always so stingy. Yeah, our characters don't have gear, so we wouldn't be able to do that. It would have to be a per character. Only learning from WoW, Final Fantasy 14 blossomed. Oh yeah, I did hear that. Like Final Fantasy took a lot of what WoW was doing and implemented it in their own way, and found great success. I never played Final Fantasy, the MMO. I'd love it if someone could replicate one of my favorite childhood games and I could still play it every day so often today. The mobile Diablo is kind of massive too. Just watch the YouTubers react. Dude, yeah, people are like wailing like crazy on Diablo Mobile. Freaking Blizzard knew what they were doing. despite all the hate they got from that one talk. Money talks. They basically have just a few people probably funding the whole development team on Diablo Immortal. Just get a few people, get a few wells. Get a few wells, and you can constantly pump out more um, content. Let me see. I think the problem with big studios is following. You never know when higher ups go to shit. Like, you never know when higher ups are going to swap other people who prioritize different stuff. Yeah, you never know what's going on in the inner politics, inner workings of a company. That's why I like working solo. I don't like politics at all. I don't follow any of it unless it's like just like in my face all the time on YouTube. Then I'll watch some of it, but for the most part, I try to avoid it. I think that's the main issue with studios like Riot or Blizzard. Yu-Gi-Oh! The False Bound Kingdom, such a gem of a game. Fun mechanics. Construct a team of 3 monsters for each martial unit. The new CEO made a lot of bad decisions, and well, a lot of damage was done. I think that's good. Our new orc, I don't know who he is, but looks strong. He looks strong. Hmm. Yeah, I was gonna do a study. Let me see what is on the web. Could look on. Could look on my internet, but I'm afraid of what's on my internet or internet on my iPad. I don't remember the last website I was on. We'll look on a separate monitor for now. Cool action scenes. Man, there's just so many shows and movies that I haven't seen. I'm like, what is that from? What is that from? Oh, that's a cool drawing. Or it's like that's a cool scene. I'll draw that. I'll draw it and then I'll show you the image if I can. Oh, yeah, I can just switch displays. Um, Fear Pacer. Oh yeah, I did a Gwen little pin up. I'll post that up later. Sad Konami doesn't make games anymore. An experiment like they used to. The last experiment Konami did with Yu-Gi-Oh was a greedy gacha called Cross Duel. There's no way you can guess what this is from. No way. Yeah, these studies are pretty good because you can see how the body actually looks in certain perspectives that you've never seen. Of course, I've drawn characters crouched over, but I've never like seen the arm, and I've never drawn the arm in like this position while they're crouched over or at this angle. So it's different. I've I'm learning something. Something new is burning into my brain. Oh, shit. Have you seen a comic called Incal? The Incal. Nope. Let me take a look. No, I'm not drawing Spider-Man. But you're kind of close. What is this? This reminds me of graphic novels I would look at. A graphic novel I would look at in the comic store. No, I don't think I've ever seen this one though. Interesting though. I love detailed art. Like not all of it, but like certain scenes are super detailed. I love the environment art on this. I guess what's his name? The director of Taiki Waititi is going to do a movie based on the comic. Illustrated by Jean Gural. Oh, that was Mobius? Oh, that's crazy. Oh, so it's like an old comic. Okay, yeah, then I probably have seen it. I just watched a video essay on Mobius like last week. Wouldn't had a super interesting life. Yeah, I've actually thought about going by a ghost name and drawing it in a completely different style from what I'm known for. I don't know if I'll do that anytime soon, but maybe that would break me out of my break me out of what I think I should draw by detaching the identity from my art and just doing art for art again, like I did when I was a kid, before all the assumptions about what I should be drawing came about. No, Taiki destroyed Thor on Love and Thunder. Is that the? Yeah, it's a difficult thing. Like when all the movies started being kind of funny and goofy, it became it no longer was unique. I think when that first started happening, no one had done it that way before. But then when everyone started doing it, it was like no longer no longer good. I liked his first Thor movie, but I'm not like a hardcore Marvel person, so I'm not a hardcore. I mean, I love comics, but I'm not like I don't know the deep lore behind characters and stuff. Is what I mean. I don't even know the deep lore behind my own characters. It's like, so how am I going to know the deep lore behind other people's characters? Oh yeah, that was the second one. The one where he did where Hercules showed up. Yeah, that one was okay. I like the first one a lot. The first one he did. I think it's Armageddon. I think. This hand is quite the challenge. I think YouTube is deleting some comments. Could be autofilter. Huh. I don't see anything. Shouldn't I get a notification if something has been filtered? Or maybe it just automatically does it. Let me see. Well, if they're deleting stuff, they're not notifying me. Yeah, maybe it's auto. I just posted something and it's nowhere to be found in chat. Oh, got it. Yeah, it gets deleted again. What did you write? Obviously, you can't say it, but maybe give us a hint of what you wrote. What did YouTube not like? Do not say his name in vain. No, Gareth. The clay one. The clay one. I don't know what that means. I guess mentioning Twitter or X is forbidden. Wow, that's funny. Yeah, I can't say it because it keeps getting deleted. Whoa, that's so freaking weird. That is, I guess that's my first. That's my first experience of freedom of speech being squashed by some what's supposed to be just a neutral platform, I guess. I guess some people don't like Elon Musk. That's my guess. Yeah, I always hear about it, but I never experienced it. That was my first time. I'm not well, technically I'm not experiencing it. You wrote it and then you got censored for writing Twitter or X. That's hilarious. I swear I saw someone write Twitter and X on our stream before. That must be a new thing. Yeah, you got it. It's Wonder Woman. It's just some random scene that popped up when I wrote a action scene from a movie. I can't draw portraits. I can't really capture Gal Gadot's features. All I can do is draw the way I draw girls' faces onto Gal. I think the crouching position was kind of Spider-Man like. Before I put all the before I had put all the details on. Oh, I was trying to guess Gwen since the hint was so close to Spider-Man. Right. I just meant close as, yeah, they are superheroes. You're seeing Graveland because Graveland has a head tiara like this. But I'm pretty sure Wonder Woman came first. But you know how it goes. What you experience first is your first. If you saw Graveland before you saw Wonder Woman, then Graveland came first. Kal-El, no. I think in all the old comics, I mean, she had black hair, but it was highlighted by lots of blue. I'm gonna make her hair blue. We're gonna we're gonna put our own spin. Amazonians are the best. I agree. What did uh what did YouTube block this time, Ricker? They just don't like your language. Your language is problematic. You know, I started watching a video. I haven't finished it yet, but on they're starting to connect the anxiety of the new generation of kids and their hypersensitivity to early exposure to social media, which makes a lot of sense. Like they have a lot of data to support it that there's like a giant spike in teenage anxiety and suicide and all that, like right when social media started to take off, which is pretty sad. So we're getting like the people that are super hypersensitive and don't like certain words and all this and that are probably coming from a generation that grew up with social media, so they're hypersensitive, hyper uh, affected by things that happen outside of them, which is really, really kind of sad because you can't control that. You can't control things outside of you. You'll spend your entire life trying to control other people and the way they think, which is a terrible way to live. Started watching Space King. Space King. What is Space King? Oh yeah, I saw the most recent episode of that. That's crazy animations. So much work gone into that. Yeah, basically, people are easy to troll. But yeah, what a huge disadvantage you put yourself in when you're so affected by what other people say or think. It's like you can't control that. Everyone's different. Everyone's so different. What a crazy thing to need people to think and behave how you think they should. That's a losing battle. Damn, we're already 2 hours. Yep. Almost. I think I'll finish the shading on her and we'll call it a stream. That's why you don't believe what you see on social media. Yeah, especially with AI. Oh my God. It's going to be a crazy next generation that comes next. But maybe they'll be so in tune that they'll be able to spot when something is not real. I don't know. Either they won't be able to detect anything or detect when anything is real, or they'll be so familiar that they'll know when things are not real. It's like we're not getting fooled by everything because it's not that good yet, but it's only getting better. Eventually, we won't be able to tell the difference. Yeah, I'm getting fooled by AI now. The kids and old guys will have trouble with that unless they inform themselves. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Unless they're familiar with what AI does and know what to look for, yeah, it's gonna be hard. But yeah, the old guys like me are getting fooled by some of it. I watched one video. Usually, you go to the comment and someone will point it out, whether they're right or not. You never know. But usually, when I see something unbelievable, I'll go to the comments and then see if someone is like, is AI, and then I'll search for the clues in the video. People seem to lean heavy on it, yeah. Loving the color, it makes the character stand out. Thanks, Ricker. Saw Martin Luther King wrestling. Yeah, I've stayed away from AI. I tried some of it on my own art because it was like built into my computer. The when you open up an image, it's automatically there now, like AI tools. I was like, oh, okay, make this drawing into this style. Make this like my own drawings. Make this drawing into this style. It completely changed it to where it was not even recognizable as my art. It was interesting, but I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do this. Luckily, AI didn't come out when I was in my phase of hating art. Maybe I would have dove into it. It's like, oh, I hate drawing anyway. Let me just use AI. So good thing that didn't happen, because that very well may have happened. You already see it with some artists who don't want to be, who want to be more than artists, kind of they're trying to get away from it. Not get away from it, but not do it as much. People that come to mind was Ross Draws. Was caught using AI to make his art book. Unfortunately, it's not a good look. Even when I make realistic characters, I make the proportions cartoony. I just don't like drawing realistic at all. As soon as I see my drawing starting to look like a real, like it could be a realistic drawing, I'm like, nope. Where can I make it cartoony? Usually removing the nose helps. Is the hair color blue to represent the retro coloring? Yeah. I remember her hair always being blue in the comics growing up. Like if you played the first Deus Ex game, that game touched the subject of AI many, many years ago. I swear to you, it still stands. Oh, I'm sure. Dude, I had a friend in like 2006 expressed to me his fear of the robots taking over. And I remember at the time laughing out loud. I was like, what? The robots taking over? Like, that didn't even register in my mind. And now here we are. He was right. Oh, it's like those forbidden riffs in the guitar stores. Yeah, like don't do that. Yeah, I don't know why I don't like. It just looks generic to me. Anytime I see a hyper realistic drawing, it's like, oh, how boring. It just looks generic, is the best way I can describe it. Like some people can make it work. Like I think Elden Ring is a good example of using hyper. I mean, it's not even hyper realistic, but it uses realistic proportions, but in a interesting way. So it's not always the case, but for me, when I do it, it looks boring to me. Like like I said, if you ever see me draw something realistic, it's on accident. I'm not trying to. And I'll probably be trying to make it less realistic. I figure you removed the nose so you could say, got your nose. Got your nose. Also, using the blend, like making soft edges is kind of a tricky business too. You don't want it to look like an amateurish smeary mess. So you gotta like really balance using soft edges with hard edges. A lot of artists don't even they completely skip the soft edges. I kind of like using it at least on females to create the illusion of soft skin. I think just the right amount of blending is fine. I sometimes go overboard though. It's fun to smear shit. That could be translated really badly. It's fun to smear shit. Just had flashbacks of going into a public restroom one time. Whew. Don't envy the people that work there. Try to be careful about giving girls muscles too. Like, don't want it to be too masculine. I think I made her arm too big. Now I gotta make the forearms bigger. I don't know what his situation is now, but Ross draws. Yeah, got uh, caught having some AI shenanigans using his own art, but like telling the AI to draw something in his own style. I have to say, like I said, I tried that, but he didn't know who I was. So, sucks for known artists not being able to do it. It's like, I'm technically stealing from myself. So is it really stealing if I'm stealing from myself? But yeah, there's a zero tolerance for AI usage, it would seem. So I'm glad I never got hooked into doing it. Yeah, we can do the lasso. We can do the lasso. But I can see why people get upset if you made your book using AI. You just type in, draw this, draw this, draw this. Well, he was caught doing like not complete AI, but like using AI as a base and then painting over the AI art type stuff. So half and half AI. But whatever. Shiny. I forgot to flip this. It's been a while. Let's see how much distortion we got. Yeah, it's a little bit. A little bit of distortion, not too bad. By the way, thanks for thinking what I wrote was up to snuff and just wanted some feedback or thoughts of what could change or adjust what I wrote to do better. I'm going to lurk as I haven't eaten today yet and need to make something to eat. Also, adding my hat to the AI discussion, I will never tolerate nor stand AI art. Using it or respect people that feed art to AI, regardless of whose it is, even if I'm own. It just doesn't feel right whatsoever, and just plain wrong, in my opinion, amongst other moral things, especially the generative AI. Totally understand. I totally understand. I've kind of just removed myself from the whole situation. The whole situation. I only have enough energy to create the art. No energy to do any fighting against a machine. Let's see. Let's do a shadow on the hair and shield. I'm gonna put some blue, extra blue on her eyes, just for funsies. Let's cartoon her up a little bit. She looks pretty intense. I don't know if I like it or not. Super duper intense. Human Detroit used a lot of AI art. Detroit become human, I mean. What is she shielding herself for random bullets? In the scene, she's talking to someone. She's like crouched down talking to someone. Maybe I'll put the guy she's talking to in there. It's not exactly what's happening in this scene, but I'm just making just make up my own version of it. It's like he's dead. He's dead. That game was miles ahead of AI art. Got me confused on the human Detroit. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Like become my husband. Oh wait, Detroit become you. Oh, the pilot guy. Yeah. No, I think I don't know if you're talking about the same thing, but the AI that fooled me was some attractive black lady sitting next to a guy and going and just saying husband, and then the guy looks over and goes, yeah. And I didn't know that was AI until I looked at the not until I looked at the comments. Someone had mentioned that her nose ring was moving as she turned her head, and I was like, oh yeah, it is. That's AI, I guess. He's not completely. The guy's not completely in the shot, so I'm not sure who it is. If it's a random soldier or the pilot guy. Oops. Ah, put on the wrong layer. God damn it. I just blur him. I just blur him. Make a backup first. It's a game about AI rights. There's been a couple. I think there was a movie with Robin Williams where he was a robot that wanted the same rights as humans. Huh, have you finished doing research on the 6 foot girl? Oh, I already researched all I could on her a long time ago. I was just mentioning her when we were drawing our Oblivia girl. That that was the inspiration. All right, I think that's pretty good. We got Wonder Woman and Orc. I was drawing these cartoony things. I was thinking of making I don't know. I like the idea of like creating your own little vehicle and then traveling through different exotic worlds, like the movies. I remember when I was young, usually had that sort of theme. That's from a comic I'm gonna release later. I think AI is fine to use if you're super simple, if it's for super simple throwaways, but it should also be, well, be upfront about it. Yeah, there's no stopping AI. It's going to be used. Orc and Wonder Woman done. Friendly old orc. Like Spirited Away. Spirited Away is a good example, but I'm talking more about, I forgot the name of the movies, but there was one movie where a bunch of kids create a spaceship and they visit aliens out in outer space, and and they come to find out that the aliens that they're visiting are just kids themselves, and that the adults are like giants. But the whole premise of it felt like super fun. Like they built their ship out of junk. Like they had a bunch of junk and they just put it together. They put all the things they needed and they brought lunch with them. But one of the smart kids, the genius kid, had figured out how to create an energy bubble. And so the energy bubble just surrounded this piece of junk spaceship that they made out of like backyard junk. And then they like took off because the energy bubble like supported the whole shit. And I was like, man, what a fun thing to do if that was possible. I forgot, was it Little Einstein? I don't think it was Little. It was like back in the 80s. Let me see, Little Einstein. If I find the name of the movie later, I'll. It was a motion picture. It wasn't a cartoon. Yeah, it was a full on movie, a full on motion picture with live action kids. They were like 12 or 13 or whatever. God, what was like Flight of the Navigator was one of it was a that's a different movie, but kind of along the same vein. Goonies is around that time, like Goonies, Flight of the Navigator. I can't remember what the name of that movie was where they created their own spaceship though. But yeah, I'd like to get into that sort of mind space again, where everything feels possible. Alien. No, we're talking about the 80s. Nothing recent, nothing from the night, nothing from the 2020 or 2000s or 1990s even. This was early 80s or mid 80s. You know, another movie that had that same vibe was the one where they fly around in a giant peach. I forgot the name of that movie too. I'm terrible with names. Something in the giant peach. That one I think I can find because I know some of the name. James and the Giant Peach. Yeah, that had a similar vibe that I'm looking for. Where you kind of just travel around in this vehicle and like explore different worlds, different creatures. But yeah, that's about it. I'm ready to do things I enjoy. I'm done chasing the money or success or whatever. I just want to make art. Explorers, is that it? Ex- that sounds right. Yeah, you got it. It was Explorers. Thank you. Explorers, that was the movie, Ricker. Yeah, that's what these drawings were inspired by. Just exploring different or whatever. It doesn't matter. It could be fantasy or sci-fi. Um, but making an animation based off that would be really fun. I don't know how many characters I would want to animate at once. That's why I only made one character. Maybe he has an animal, a talking animal pal, and they just go around different places. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe I'll start off with little short animations, little animated shorts. Explorers. I knew it was a simple name. I can switch over just so we can look at it for real quick. Uh, yeah, so this was their spaceship that they made. It's literally made out of trash, a trash can in the front, a TV as their cockpit. Where's the alien? These are the aliens. They were well done for the time. Like they look kind of goofy in the screenshots, but during the time, like when I watched it as a kid, they were convincing. I was like, holy shit, look at those aliens. They're like animatronic faces and all that. I need to watch this again. I think that's one of the famous actors, Joaquin Phoenix or Ethan Hawke. Uh, Gotta watch it again. Yeah, love how this is just like vibing there. How he's just vibing there. Yeah, just trusting the process. 80s sci-fi is so good. Yep. No thoughts behind those eyes. None of care in the world. Exactly. That's exactly what I was trying to convey there. Nice observation, Atrude. I was trying to put a T on his shirt, not for Tesla, but for like trust. He just trusts everything's gonna work out. I like the concept of Zathura too. Zathura? Let me look that up. Zathura. Oh, I don't think I've ever seen this. Yeah, this looks like it has a similar vibe to what I'm talking about. Yeah. I remember seeing the trailer for it though. Yeah, their house like takes off or something into outer space. Yeah, we're all on the same page. Yep. I mean, if you keep it in the theme of playground version of Milton Dage, that would be cool. Yeah, I like drawing that way, that style, and you can still create really cool action scenes with that style too. That's a good uh, that's a good suggestion. Unknown. Trust where the flow takes them. Exactly. And yes, you are correct, Ricker. It is time. It is about that time. The heck? I was all set up. Oh, here we are. All right. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. And yes, I'll be here tomorrow. And until tomorrow, or until next time, peace and two pieces. Have a good night, everybody. And thanks for reminding me of the movies that were inspiring. Explorers. I need to take a look at Zathura. That's another movie I never saw, but was something I did want to see.